Hey YouTube, Mark with Ultimate RC. Going to be putting up the Eflite 1.5 meter Mustang. I tried putting this up the other day. Probably shouldn't have, it was way too windy. I may post that flight just on the end for some fun chuckles. I was all over the place. But wanted to get this up. It's been a long time. Was working on reprogramming the ESC so that I could get telemetry to a battery other than smart batteries. Was not successful, even though I was able to successfully update the ESC and the receiver. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact this is the first smart plane ever released and the ESC in here is a bit antiquated by today's standards or what. But as a result, I haven't flown this in almost a year, and I really wanted to see if I can fly this plane better. This plane does have a reputation for being a hard to fly plane, and we're gonna see. I've done a lot with warbirds over the last year, bigger ones, 1.4 meters. This plane flies great. It's just really tough on the runway to deal with. So let's see if that was part me or what. Not much wind, a little bit from the east. That should hopefully help with P factor a little bit. Enough yapping. Takeoff flaps are in. I'm going to my mid rates. So I thought this felt sensitive the other day when I was flying it, but that had probably a lot to do with the wind than anything else. Here we go. A gradual flying of power. All right. Bring the flaps up. Well, that was interesting. Once again, I think I might be practicing without safe at all. That's the case. Huh. I don't know why. The only thing I can think of is I've got Sky ID in. I've had issues before with Sky ID. When you plug it in, it reinitiates. It doesn't bind properly. All right, well, wanted to practice some touch and goes. We're not going to do that tonight on the pavement, as while I am trying to practice my non-safe landings, I'm not doing it on this plane. That was really strange. I wonder if comments if anybody else has had any issues with that when using Sky ID. That's the only thing I can think of right now that would have caused this, because when I did my flight the other day, no issues. Of course, this is a great flying plane, so obviously I fly it all day long out of safe, but I like doing my landings in safe. But I'm sure I'm going to get comments about that. You know, everybody does their thing differently when it comes to this hobby. the nice thing is you have the ability to do that, and I don't have time to be fixing planes forever in a day. Some do. Some like that as much as they like flying them. That's great if you do, but the technology helps more people get into this hobby. It's not a cheap hobby anymore, and the more people we can get into this, the merrier. I don't know how far I would have got into this hobby without SAFE. Well, I'm not near a sanctioned field. Certainly I've had flyers that come here that have helped me through my progression over the years. Kind of wish I would have started my channel a lot sooner and documented some of that. I didn't. I focused on flying. All right, well, let's practice an approach here. So I'm doing a grass. We'll try to do that without flaps. Actually, I'm going to try takeoff flaps. Yeah, too high. Right over my head, probably not a great idea. Come around. Not necessarily into the wind, but there isn't much. A little power in, a little more. There we go. Even managed to keep the tail from tipping, even though I used takeoff flaps. It probably wouldn't have gotten away with that in the middle of summertime because of the grass being thicker. I don't think I can taxi out here. Well, this plane's got real good suspension. This is the only plane that I can get away with this on out here. This is not manicured by any means. So there you go. I think it was about 1.5 years ago I had a similar experience with this. Gotten a lot of flying in since then, so that was not nearly as eventful. But again, I don't want to practice that on the pavement. At least not with this plane, not at this point. All right, YouTube, I'm going to see if I can figure this out before the sun goes down. Otherwise, I may add additional footage on here. Because that's the whole reason why I wanted to do this video, is to see how well I could do touch and goes and stuff on the pavement and such. And if I was going to have landing was my biggest issue. You could land this thing in the grass. I've done it before. I did it all the time. It's the pavement that everybody has a challenge with on this. But thanks again for watching. There you have it, the Eflite 1.5 Mustang. Like and subscribe, YouTube. Mark with Ultimate RC. Hey YouTube, so because I updated this has forward programming on it now. I'm gonna check. Safe select is off again. Oh, that's in flight mode 2.
Experienced mode, experienced mode, experienced mode, safe mode.
And that is inhibited. So there's the reason why. Now, why did that happen? I don't know. Put that back on aux 2. We're gonna put safe select on. aux 1 is my mode 1 is safe.
Experienced mode. Experienced mode.
All right.
Experienced mode. Safe mode.
All right, it is now functioning again. As long as let's just check telemetry real quick here. Get out of that. 5,030C. Oh, plenty of juice. All right, I'm gonna reset up and let's see if we can get some landings here on the pavement. Hey YouTube. All right, so safe is fixed. It's on. I don't seem to have much rudder control in that direction. I'm not sure what that's about. All right, YouTube, let's put this up. Light is waning and so is my battery on my head cam. So let's see if we can get some touch and goes here. Finally. Well, YouTube, there you have it. I thought I was going to pull out of that. I didn't. Now I got some work to do. Dang it all anyways. I couldn't kick it over. That nose brake, I really took a chance with that and I shouldn't have. I've got a lot of work to do. Well, that really sucks. Stuff like this happens. Man, I busted all the props. That's all four. Well, there you have it. Maybe it's the plane. More likely it's the pilot. All right, well, YouTube, I'm gonna pick up my parts. Hey YouTube, just quick post-flight here. So, there's the damage, including those parts as well. So, I could probably fix this. I will fix this. And hopefully I'm going to do it without buying any other parts than 4 blades. Because I don't have one left. I'm not going to put a lot of extra money into this. So it'll be fixing that nose, which I've already done once, and I can fix that. The parts for the gear, some things are broken in half, but I think if I use enough glue, I can put those back together, and hopefully those function good. We'll have to see. Frustrating because I was having an issue before takeoff. I don't know if I did a video on it, but it didn't seem like I was getting a lot of right rudder. I made an adjustment on the rates. That was a safe takeoff, and I'm sure everybody's going to say, oh, you shouldn't be doing it in safe. I think there's an issue beyond safe. I've taken off countless times in safe with this plane and not have an issue where it would not turn right for me, it seemed like. But honestly, had I hit the throttle a little bit faster, I should have gotten up over that hump. I don't know why I just didn't goose it. I was worried about hitting trees and torquing into that. I should have been more worried about the curb. So, all right, well, there you have it. Just some post-flight thoughts. We all crash. We all make mistakes. Kind of wish it wasn't in a plane like this, but it is what it is, and obviously not the first time I broke this plane. So, thanks again for watching, YouTube. Like and subscribe, hit the bell. Mark with Ultimate RC.